how to become independent. What was Jordan Peterson trying to say there? Well, by now you've heard the title of the video and you know what he's talking about. Becoming independent and embarking on the so-called hero's journey. What was Jordan Peterson trying to say there? Venture into the unknown and grow up. It can be difficult to provide a straightforward response to this question. How can I become independent? Because the circumstances of each individual's life are unique. However, there are some actions you can do to get things moving in the right direction. After seeing the video that we have for you today, we promise that you will have a better understanding of how to become fully independent. 1. Make a good plan is freedom. Anything other than the freedom to live our lives how we choose, nothing else but that when we are young. There is typically something and someone standing between us and the unknown. Those people are typically our parents, family members, and mentors. They provide us with the answers to fundamental questions and guide us in the early stages of our life. However, there comes a time when they stop and you can't ask them questions anymore because they're no longer a part of your life. One of these reasons why people want to become independent is that they want more freedom. Accepting one's solitude on occasion by doing things like cooking and cleaning, etc. There are a lot of things that we need to talk about here. But before we get started with anything else, you need to make sure that your finances are in order. Getting a job isn't easy, especially during recession. So make sure you have the necessary skills to start a good career path. You can achieve that by doing the more traditional route, which is getting a college degree or diploma, or by using the modern library of Alexandria open 24/7 at your disposal, also known as Google. You can learn anything you want, wherever and whenever you want. If you're still living with your parents, the first thing you should do is to get a job and save enough money to cover at least 3 months. Simply look around our channel and you will unearth something useful right this second. We have a great deal of instructional content related to this issue. To return to the topic at hand, you will require that money in this event that things become difficult. The last thing you want to do is to return home embarrassed after failing to manage on your own, which is why setting this up is important. Once you have done that, you can gradually make the transition by moving out on your own, developing a routine and cultivating healthy habits. If you don't earn enough to maintain a decent standard of living, either cut your spending or look for other ways to make more money. Keep in mind that one trait of wealthy people is that they have multiple sources of income, and you should make that a priority once you have taken those first steps. Your immediate goal should be to finish your financial plan, independence journey. Learn how to build wealth. The process of learning how to be financially responsible and disciplined is not an easy one. There are a lot of material things available that can tempt you into becoming materialistic. So be careful if you own a credit card, because you can decide to be twice as rich by deciding you need half as much spending. Money you don't have is a bad idea. There are a lot of material things available that can tempt you into becoming materialistic. Only if you're aware of how to maximize its potential benefits can debt be considered a valuable tool. It is a process of trial and error that you will master over time. The wealthier you become, the more independent you're going to be. That's because whether we accept it or not, money opens doors and can sometimes even buy freedom. Learn about finance, how the printing press works, and economic policies, and then proceed with making your first investments. It doesn't have to be a big look at the things from learning perspective. It's a process that you will master over time. The wealthier you become, the more independent. The first thing that will become clear to you is that monetary success is not the end aim, but rather only a vehicle by which you might accomplish other objectives. That right there is a shift in perspective that will assist you in cultivating a healthy connection with your financial situation. You're welcome, and as you can see, becoming independent calls for a lot of hard work and self-discipline. However, all difficult things are beautiful and give us meaning. And meaning is what motivates an individual to get out of bed each morning excited to face the challenges that life presents them. With independence is a state of mind. And it's important to keep in mind that you can throw away all the money in the world if you don't know what to do with it. Next, find out who you truly are. Discovering your own identity is an essential step in the process of gaining independence. Find out what your values are and build on top of that. This is one of the first phases in what psychologist Carl Jung termed individuation process. The process of understanding oneself is a lifelong adventure, so don't attempt to rush things. Instead, find out what your values are. Part of this call to adventure that we embark on is figuring out who we truly want to be. One of the ways in which you can do that is by writing down your values and your destination on a piece of paper, and then figuring out what you need to do in order to get there. A true human being is a sovereign and is able to distinguish themselves from the majority. This process involves building daily habits, so make sure you stay consistent. Additionally, because we mentioned earlier figuring out what career path you want to pick once you get enough experience. Make sure you upgrade this as well by gradually backing out of the regular job market and seeking out new opportunities. By now, you've probably heard of the 4-hour week or the 4-day work week. This way of working is real, but it requires a lot of self-discipline and competence. The 4-day work week is a significant number of people took advantage of the possibility of working from home during the pandemic in order to either make the transition to a role that required them to work entirely from home or to outright quit their jobs in secret. According to a survey conducted by Gallup among the workers aged 18 and older in 2022, quiet quitters make up at least 50% of the US workforce and probably more. That's quite a lot. And it points to an even more impactful fact. The Great Resignation is real and it's happening as we speak. Millions of people are actively quitting their jobs, and independence is a sought-after quality of life now, more than it has ever been. Just look at the pace at which people are leaving in recent quarters. Many technology corporations have been laying off people. Just a few days ago, Meta made the announcement that they would be laying off 11,000 employees, and Elon Musk is doing something similar over at Twitter and its companies. There's a lot of chaos going on today because of the world is heading toward a new economy, and the people who will inherit it are the ones who know how to adapt. By now, you should have a general idea of what true independence actually means. And lastly, embrace loneliness. It was the famous French existentialist philosopher Jean-Paul Sartre who once said, "If you're lonely when you are alone, you are in a bad company." Now that's what we like to call a hard hitter, because wow, it's a true large part of practicing self-reliance is learning to be alone. And okay, that once thought, don't disregard that as a bad thing. You learn the most about yourself by meditating and reflecting on your own life. You don't have time for it. Take this into consideration if you want to become truly independent, and one of the promises here is that you don't rely on anyone else more than you rely on yourself. We'll let you meditate on that one, but clarity, your mind will become noisy. But if you don't make the time to have the difficult conversations with yourself, take this into consideration if you want to become truly independent.